Hi, my name is Talia MK and welcome to Internet 2.0 Conference Dubai 2024. I have with me Mr. Lim U-Chyung, who is Chief Business Officer at Orion, and he has been awarded for outstanding leadership at this conference. First of all, congratulations and welcome. Please tell us about yourself and your company a little bit.
Thank you so much, Talia. Really honored to be here today. As you've introduced me, I am the Chief Business Officer at Orion, and a little bit about ourselves. What we do at Orion is that we're basically a decentralized company in the Web3 space. So we deal a lot with the decentralized liquidity space. And what we aim to do as a company is to allow people to use Web3 freely and securely in a private space, right? So this is something that we aim to achieve. And a little bit about me is that I come from a diverse traditional background, and to be here today, in the internet space, more so in Web3, I think looking back, I have really come quite a long way, and it's quite interesting to be where I'm at today. We'll dive in that a little bit later. Yeah.
Sure. So as you mentioned space, as you come from a diverse background, so over here you got to meet a lot of diverse culture and different nationalities and people from very vast culture and fields as well. So how has been, what was your experience and what were you expecting? Is your expectations met, or what were you thinking, or how is you going to go forward with this conference experience?
Well, I have to say, I am overwhelmed actually. The fact that I am now kind of deeply rooted into Web3, and my knowledge is pretty much around that. I kind of just need to go back to my database of knowledge to just dig out something, to just have something in common with the guys. But, all in all, I think this is a great experience. More so, now the challenge really is how do I translate Web3 into simple terms, right? And I think that is something very, very important, because if I were to just say this, like coming from the traditional banking sector, if I were to tell you what I did in the bank, you'd be like, I get it. But if I tell them my Web3 experience, this is rocket science, that kind of thing. So I think, meeting so many different people, I think the opportunity for me right here is to really learn from them. Despite technical jargons or all these things that I'm hearing today, well, I guess I'm educated to get A. Yeah, that's what I will say, yeah.
That's our opportunity that it's a great opportunity for us to host such amazing minded people over here and who can share the experience that we get to learn too much. A person, as you said, space and internet, as that is your field. Tell us about what makes your company different then, because as you know, internet is like it thing now. Social media, internet is like nobody can live a day without an internet. So how do you propose or tell us how your company is different or how your work is different than many other companies around? What makes you unique? Which is your USP?
I think to say this simply, in the company, my very role, despite being the Chief Business Officer, I see myself as the chief storyteller of the company. Because on a day-to-day basis, I speak with many different projects, I write proposals, and a lot of times, right, I translate all of these things into simple, engaging stories. And that is me. That's a representation of me. And as to how we're different, I would say in Web3, there is the centralized and decentralized, right? And how we're different from all the other players out there, or at least the kind of USP that we're proud of, is that we merge the two together. We marry centralized and decentralized in a completely decentralized manner. So imagine this way. People want the great stuff about the centralized space, yet they want the simplicity and the yes, exactly, of the decentralized space as well. Now, how do we do that? And that's Orion.
That's perfect. That's perfect. So if a person who comes from a very layman information when it comes to your field, if they want to follow your footsteps, what are the 2 or 3 inputs or advices you would like to give them?
I think this is very, very interesting because I do get this, and for for the benefit of everybody, I would say, always say yes to any opportunity that comes around, right? You'll never know what you're gonna get. And also, the thing is that this very thing that we call comfort zone either makes you or it breaks you. Like, I've been in situations where I least expect. I didn't expect like 2 years ago I'd be here today doing what I'm doing. So I would say, first of all, say yes to every opportunity that comes up. Then we'll figure out how to do it later. I know you probably hear this a lot, but this is what I do. And one more thing that I hold very, very, very dearly to my life is a philosophy that someone taught me is that you don't get what you deserve. You get what you tolerate.
Oh, that's amazing.
Yes, and it's so true, right? Think about it this way. Today, simple scenario. You believe you should be paid this much. No one's gonna come to you and say, "Hey, let me offer you this much," right? You gotta step up and say, "Hey, excuse me, I think the market rate goes like this, and with my expertise, it goes like this. May I or can I actually get there?" This is what it means, and I hold it very, very dearly to my life, not just from the pay perspective, but in everything else that I do. Yeah, and I want to thank that person who was my mentor while I was in telecommunications. He changed my mind. He changed my life. Yeah, yeah. And so I met great people along the way, even in my Web3 space. Yeah, that's better. Yeah.
So I believe whoever is listening to you will be calling you a mentor in future, hopefully. In your view, what will be the next big trend in blockchain, specifically DeFi? Like how Orion preparing to be at a forefront for the change? What is that aspect which you're gonna tell us? Just a little bit insight of what's gonna happen next.
Yeah. So, as Chief Business Officer, I think I'm allowed to say this a little bit more. So, as far as Orion goes, what we aim to achieve, just like any other projects out there, is to go beyond the existing community of blockchain users and Web3 users. What we want to do is to change the lives of everyday people. You see, the fact that in blockchain and Web3 today, if regular people like you and I can't wrap our heads around all these technical jargons and stuff like that, you're not going to use it. If I were to just ask you a simple question, will you use a wallet and then you lose money? But what are you saying? And that's the direction that we're heading towards. Web3 is now for everyone. It's not a distant reality, because we're going to make it happen. That's Orion. Yeah.
That's perfect. That's something new. So before we go ahead, let me. How do you feel receiving an award outside in a conference in Dubai? How does that feel? You've been working hard, as you mentioned, and you are a chief business officer, which of course took you time to reach there. How do you feel? What is that feeling like?
When I first came to Dubai, it was just last year. I visited the Museum of the Future, I remember. And the one thing that came to my mind, I actually read it on the wall. It was by the Prime Minister. It sounded something like this. Dubai is where everything is possible. It was a desert. And look at what we have today. And this is it, right? A lot of things that I've done, it really wasn't easy, but I've come here and I've made it. And receiving this award is beyond my wildest imagination. I'm proud, and I couldn't believe that I'm actually getting an award outside my industry, which is really, really amazing. And I really have, Internet 2.0 to thank for.
So much. Before we end it, I would like to know this award, how it's going to affect the way the blockchain technology is perceived in a wider business and technology communities.
Well, the award, or rather the conference title, Internet 2.0, I just want to say this. In, a complex world that we live in today, we want to achieve simplicity. And receiving this award, makes me think that we need to further simplify things that you see in Web3. Now, do check out my keynote. I'm going to be speaking on that. My vision for the industry following this award is that I would love to have more people beyond the 431 million Web3 users to be using Web3. That is our goal. Yeah.
Thank you so much and congratulations for your award. And we'll be hopefully seeing you again the next conference and with more awards and your company and you achieving the heights of success. And on that note, be kind. This is Talia MK signing off.